Children, let's wish together our Honorable Prime Minister PM Modi ji, who is the Prime Minister of yes, world's largest democracy, and he turned 70 yesterday. So here I remember one of my very favorite speech of Modi ji, where he says that we should remain students for a lifetime. We should be ready and yearn to learn for every moment. So children, let's obey our Prime Minister and start learning. Title of the notes gives you a clear understanding that what I am bringing for you today, that is atomic mass, children. Yes, because this is one of the, I will say, controversial topic. Why? Because the atomic mass concept, yes, I will try to give you a clear concept, but still sometimes it remains very confusing also. But my effort will remain to remove your confusion from everywhere, and I will try to enable you that you understand the atomic mass, what is actually atomic mass, and what it says that I am atomic mass, but is it atomic mass only or it is something else? That's why I am saying that it is bit confusing, but don't get afraid. Confusion will be removed. That is my aim for the class. So what is atomic mass? Atomic mass naturally depicts about the mass, children. It tells about the mass, and mass of the atom is described here. So mass is what is a mass? Is just a physical property of a matter, and it is a basic physical property. So you can say that mass, density, etc., volume makes the any substance matter, because without that you can't say that anything is matter, because mass is one of the very prominent property to identify any substance as matter, because you know that what is matter. I am not repeating it, but because I know that you have clear idea. So here we are talking about not the mass as a bulk, but we are talking about the mass as a particle. So not the macroscopic mass, children, but the microscopic mass, because the macroscopic mass means that mass which is taken in the bulk and which is visible from our naked eye, but microscopic mass, as I am always telling, that it is making the macroscopic mass. So we will talk about here the particulate mass and the mass of just one atom of every element, because you know that there are so many elements around, and every atom has a mass. Every atom of every element has a mass, because we have done a very thorough study on the laws of chemical combination, which deals only with the masses of the atom, children, and with the mass of the atom the Dalton found success in discovering the atom. So it is actually proposed by the Dalton only. The atomic mass is one of the achievement of the Dalton's atomic theory, I will say, and that is why the unit of the atomic mass is not given. Usually the unit of the mass is given in kilogram, gram, but just to honor the scientist, the atomic mass is always referred with the unit of Dalton, Da, or now it is more used as unified mass, U. But earlier the most common unit was a non-SI unit. Non-SI unit means which is not the unit which has been considered as a standard international unit, but yes, sometimes it is also used, like in the case of force also non-SI unit is more common, and here also non-SI unit, that is your Dalton, is common, and now unified mass as U is also very common, and it is more you can say universal. Question is here that from where this idea started coming in the minds of our great scientists, that we should that they got so much encouraged to calculate the atomic mass. It was only because of the laws of chemical combination. So much was talked about the mass in the law of chemical combination, whether it was the law of constant proportion or conservation of mass. Everywhere only the mass was going on. So the scientists started thinking that let us try to calculate what is the absolute mass of the atom, because the laws of chemical combination deals with the bulk mass, and with the bulk mass they are giving us an imagination of the atomic mass. Yes, but the atomic mass was not you can say was calculated till the mass spectroscopy started, and that was started around 1973. So after the mass spectroscopy, the concept of the atomic mass became more clear. So children, it was very difficult to calculate the mass of every individual element's atom. So it was a common opinion was made that why not we calculate the relative atomic mass, means the compared mass. And for the compared mass, they started searching about an element which could have been taken as the standard for calculating the atomic mass. And at that time, it was thought that okay, first try to see that what are the different criteria we set to decide an element as a standard element. So abundance of the element was the first criteria, and in this oxygen was also coming fit, and nitrogen was also coming fit, and carbon was also coming fit, but oxygen was earlier taken as the standard to calculate the atomic mass because it was a highly reactive element, and due to its higher reactivity it keeps combining with the metals and non-metals and forms large number of compounds. But this became its biggest drawback also. Earlier it was taken as a merit, but then it became demerit. Why? Because due to its higher reactivity it always remains fused and combined with the maximum of the metals and non-metals. So the calculation of the relative atomic mass compared to the oxygen became very difficult because the maximum of the metals and non-metals were found existing with the nitrogen. So what happened? Existing with oxygen. So what happened that it started giving, and then the isotopes of the oxygen was also discovered. Isotopes of the oxygen in the form of oxygen 17 and oxygen 18, but the original oxygen, that is your abundant oxygen, is your oxygen 16. So this started giving an error, and the error was becoming little higher. It was around 275 parts per billion. The error was coming 275 parts per billion million, sorry, and that is why this was not considered as a very errorless kind of calculation, and so it was discarded. The oxygen atom was discarded. But why it is chosen as a standard, that also I am telling you. Any element can be considered as a standard for calculating atomic mass if it has equal number of proton and neutron in its nucleus. That is a very important criteria, that the proton and neutron, means the number of nucleons, which is your proton and neutron, should remain always equal. In the case of oxygen it is equal, like 8 proton and 8 neutron, but its higher reactivity actually played you can say the Cupid role or negative role. Then after that, nitrogen was also chosen as the standard to calculate the atomic mass of the rest of the element. But here the nitrogen was very abundant, but the combining capacity was found very low, because the nitrogen is a kind of inertness. It has inertness, means non-reactivity. So this was actually one of the reasons that nitrogen was found to be very difficult to calculate the relative atomic mass, because it does not combine easily with any other element. So it doesn't have very large number of compounds. Nitrogen doesn't have very large number of compound because its combining capacity is very low. Then what was taken as a standard, here I am writing that carbon 12. Why? Because the carbon is that type of element which is abundant, yes, and it is very ideal also because of its reactivity. Reactivity is neither high nor low, and it forms a large number of compounds with hydrogen and oxygen. Combining with hydrogen and oxygen, it forms chain of compound, but these compounds are also not very reactive. Although the compound formation takes place, the compound is not very reactive. So it was easier to compare the mass of the other atoms with the carbon 12 isotope. I am talking about the 12 because the isotope plays a very important role in the atomic mass, children, because you know that the isotope is that form of element which has the same atomic number but the different mass number. Element is same because the number of protons are same, so atomic number is same, but the mass number means it has more neutrons. But in carbon 12 isotope, the number of proton and neutron is your 6 and 6, and that is very you can say ideal to consider it for the calculation of atomic mass. Now try to understand why I am always saying that the number of proton and neutron should be equal. ऐसा क्यों होता है कि बार बार मैं ये आपसे बार बार कह रही हूँ कि नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन और न्यूट्रॉन जो है वो हमेशा इक्वल नंबर में होनी चाहिए. इसकी वजह है क्योंकि अगर आप मान लीजिए मैंने कहा कि व्हाट इज एटमिक मास, तो मैं कह रही हूँ कि 1/12 ऑफ द कार्बन 12. व्हेन आई विल डिफाइन इट आई विल से दैट 1/12 ऑफ द कार्बन 12 इज कंसिडर्ड एज द स्टैंडर्ड फॉर कैलकुलेटिंग द एटमिक मास ऑफ द अदर एलिमेंट्स. सो अगर आपने कार्बन 12 को 12 से डिवाइड कर, यानी कि कार्बन की एटमिक मास 12 है, और अगर आपने उसको 12 से डिवाइड ही कर दिया तो मिलेगी क्या, मिलेगी 1, एंड दैट इज योर 1 यूनिट मास. तो इसमें 6 प्रोटॉन और 6 न्यूट्रॉन्स हैं. 6 प्रोटॉन और 6 न्यूट्रॉन है, और यानी कि 12 इसके टोटल नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन है, और उसको आपने 12 से डिवाइड कर दिया तो आपको या तो एक प्रोटॉन या एक न्यूट्रॉन की मास मिल जाएगी. इसमें कहीं भी कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि 12/12 1 और 1 अगर आ रही है तो, और दोनों चूंकि इक्वल है नंबर में, 6 ही है, तो एक जो है वो प्रोटॉन या एक न्यूट्रॉन का मास आप कह सकते हैं कि ये 1 यूनिट मास है. बट इफ सपोज दैट आई एम टेकिंग एनी अदर एलिमेंट विच हैज अनइक्वल नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन, सपोज आई एम गिविंग यू एन एग्जांपल ऑफ सपोज दैट potassium, highly reactive metal, and it has 19 proton and 20 electron. That is why neutron. That is why the mass number is what? Proton plus neutron. So that is your 39. So if you will divide potassium 39, 1/39th of the potassium 39, then will you get the mass of 1 proton or 1 neutron? No. Because proton is here just 19 and neutron is 20 in number. So what you will get will be a fraction. It will be not the whole number. If you are talking about just one unified mass, 1 unit mass, that is the mass of one subatomic particle present in the nucleus, then it will not be right. Similarly, in the case of sodium also, it will not be right, because the sodium has 11 proton and 12 neutron, and that is why the mass number is 23. तो अगर आप 23/23 करेंगे तो ठीक है, वो 1 तो आएगी, लेकिन वो 1 क्या कि सिर्फ एक प्रोटॉन की या एक न्यूट्रॉन की मास है? नहीं, वो मिक्स्ड मास है. वो मिक्स मास है. इस वजह से आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि आपने 1 यूनिफाइड मास को कैलकुलेट कर लिया, 1 यूनिट मास को आपने कैलकुलेट किया, ऐसा आपका कोई एजम्पशन नहीं हो सकता. बट व्हेन वी आर टेकिंग दैट टाइप ऑफ एलिमेंट विच हैज इक्वल नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन, दिस कैन बी प्रूव्ड, बिकॉज द इक्वल नंबर ऑफ प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन एंड यू आर डिवाइडिंग विद द होल मास number, like I am saying 1/12 of the carbon 12. So then what is coming as your result will be your nothing but the 1 unified mass, either proton or neutron. There will not be any difference. So this is why it is very important to take such an atom which has the equal number of nucleons, I mean proton and neutron in their nucleus. Now the absolute mass of carbon 12 atom means जो कार्बन होती है, जो कि हमारा abundant कार्बन है, उसका अगर absolute mass कैलकुलेट, ये तो हम रिलेटिव एटमिक मास की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अगर इसकी absolute mass की बात करें तो कार्बन 12 की absolute mass क्या होती है? That is your 1.9 into 10 to the power minus 23 gram. 1.9 into 10 to the power minus 23 gram actually is the absolute mass of the carbon 12 atom. Now we are dividing it by 12 to calculate the atomic mass, relative atomic mass. When we will divide it by 12, then you will get by the calculation that the result is coming as 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram, which will be the mass of 1 unit or 1 unit mass. You call it 1 unit mass आप कह लीजिए, or you can say it 1 Dalton also. And children, you will get surprised to know that the hydrogen atom also had the nearly equal mass. That is your 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Why? Because the hydrogen atom also has just 1 proton in its nucleus. So this 1 unified mass has considered as the unit mass, and it is the standard unit to calculate the atomic mass of all the remaining elements. Why? Because we will only if know the mass number of any element, then that mass number, suppose that if I am talking about the mass number of nitrogen, then it has 7 and 7 proton and neutron, and the mass number, I am saying number does not not have any unit. But if you are talking about the atomic mass, it will definitely, mass is not a, you can say, unitless quantity. You will have to give a unit to the mass. So आप ग्राम में देंगे या फिर आप यूनिफाइड मास में देंगे, दैट विल डिपेंड अपॉन हाउ द क्वेश्चन हैज बीन आस्क्ड. तो अगर यूनिफाइड मास की बात करें तो नाइट्रोजन के पास 14 न्यूक्लियॉन्स है, एंड देन दैट इज व्हाई इफ यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट द मास ऑफ द नाइट्रोजन, देन you will multiply it by 14 into mass of one unit, that is your 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24. And that's how by multiplying 14 into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24, you will get the mass of one atom of nitrogen, that is the atomic mass. But that mass is compared mass of the carbon 1/12 of the carbon 12. There is no doubt in it, क्योंकि हमने जो यूनिफाइड मास निकाला वो कंपेयर्ड मास के बेसिस पे ही निकाला है. So this is your actually the atomic mass. It is a compared mass, children. One very good example is given in your NCERT book to calculate the atomic mass there. So that also I make it clear. So children, you can see here a very good example, which is a very practical example also, which will make the concept of the atomic mass easier to understand. That a fruit seller is selling fruit and he doesn't have any standard weight with him. What he is doing, that he takes a fruit and he takes the fruit as a weight. So what he does, that suppose that if he is selling watermelon and he just cut it into several pieces, and here it is given that it is cutting into 12 pieces and he is weighing only one piece, and then he takes that one piece as a 1 unit mass, means he is taking that one piece as the standard weight, and then he is weighing the all the fruits, whatever fruit any person buys, compared with the, he just take the one piece of the watermelon and he weighs the rest of the fruit compared to that weight, which is the weight of one you can say piece of the watermelon. So this is how he is actually doing what, that is selling the fruit on the basis of relative fruit mass. It is given here relative fruit mass. Why I am saying that it is relative fruit mass? Because the mass of the other fruit is also measured compared with the mass of the one piece of watermelon. Suppose that one piece of watermelon is 100 gram and he has to sell 100 gram of banana. Then suppose somebody is asking that, okay, I want 100 gram of grapes, then he just take one piece of watermelon on the one side of the balance, and then he starts keeping the bunches of the, you can say, grapes, and when they become equal to the one piece of your watermelon, then it becomes 100 grams. So the grapes mass is the relative mass compared with the one piece of watermelon. That is how we are also calculating the relative mass of other elements compared to the 1/12 of the carbon 12, which is your one unified mass. That's a very nice example. I am liking it. So here now I am in mood to sum up the class, because children, I have given you the concept of the mass of one proton, and children, mass of one neutron is also taken equal to the mass of proton, although there is a slight gap between the mass of proton and neutron. Mass of the proton we are taking 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram because of the mass of hydrogen atom. Simply try to understand why we are taking the one unified mass as the 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram, because the mass of the hydrogen atom comes equal to that mass, and that is your that has just one proton, not neutron. But the mass of neutron, if you are talking individually the mass of neutron, then it is slightly more than 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 20 gram, which is your 1.607 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. Then you can't ignore the mass of the electron also, although for the calculation of atomic mass we do not consider the mass of the electron. Why? Because the mass of electron is 1000 times smaller than the mass of the one unified mass, that is your mass of either proton or neutron we are saying. So mass of the electron single-handedly if you are talking about, then it is your 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 27 gram. But you can see that that is your minus 24 gram, it is minus 27 gram, so it is again 1000 times smaller. One thing is that mass, which is your one unified mass itself, is an insignificant mass, which is your just 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. What will be the mass? It is just an unimaginable mass, but this unimaginable mass gives you a visible mass. So we are ignoring that mass which is even 1,000 times smaller than the unified mass, and due to this reasons the scientists like Einstein etc. have calculated the mass defect, because the mass defect is a harsh truth which actually fails the concept of atomic mass, but just keep it safe for your higher studies. Now I am just making my class over, and I hope that the atomic mass confusion related to the atomic mass must have been over or removed.